All right, now it's my turn. What I'm about to read is something that I wrote in my journal before my father passed. I was upstairs and my mom and I discussed writing in my journal, and I never write in my journal unless it's something that I think is huge, because something that I've had a bad problem with is starting things and not finishing them. And there's a lot of journals. My mom will tell you I got probably about 13, 14 started journals and then restarted journals. So this journal is for most important things. And I wrote this on the 5th of this month at 11:59 p.m. And I'll read it, but I'll probably pause and give some of those time-consuming stories that everybody likes doing. So here we go. Today is the beginning of the end. No, it is the end of the beginning. Tomorrow my father comes home, and unless God performs a miracle, his next stop is his eternal home. It is so hard for me to accept that just months ago I talked to him almost every night after work or on a break at Pizza Ranch. Then it seemed like we had forever. Now it is only a matter of weeks before the big sleep. I can't begin to say how I feel about it all. It's all jumbled up right now. God, I'm so scared. I have always had one true fear in my life besides heights, and now I'm about to live it. I'm about to lose the person I held more dear to my heart than anyone I'd ever known before. My heart hurts so much I can't even begin to say. No. This time may be a time of hurt and fear, but there is so much more here to see. I keep telling people it's a time of hidden blessings. Now it's my turn to believe that's true. If only I could lose the pain. But that would be the beginning of doubt. This whole time, however short it may be, this time has shown the touch of God. From the perfect timing of my transitions in my life to the unity of all my friends and family, it is simply incredible. My dad is a man of God. Every part of his life, even unto his death, will reflect that. I remember on one trip to Mexico, a man came up to him and he offered him a free drink and admission to one of their dance clubs. He turned to him and he said, "I'm sorry, but I don't drink. And I think, that's the right choice too." Then he kept on walking, with me trailing behind like a puppy in loving adoration. Another story is how when I finally told him all the things I had done behind his back when I had been sneaking out at night, he didn't scold me or punish me, which I was deathly afraid he would. But instead he just asked me why I did it and listened to my explanations and my story of coming to salvation. He was a man who knew how lessons had to be learned, and as long as I learned it, or anyone learned it, God would take care of the rest. Now, as I go into the future, I carry him with me in my heart. My sister will graduate with a strong family, both blood-related and adopted, all made family by this God-guided tragedy. I will go on to train and fill his place and keep his legacy in his group Cheng Mu Kwan alongside his greatest friend and our adopted uncle, John Wiedemann. And my mom will work hard, but in the end she will rest well in love with all of us as we hold her close and kiss her with our prayers. This was written just the other day. For each of us, this time of passing will bring new beginnings. Through Christ, all things are possible. In all things, work together for those who love him. For even when he's gone, death will lose its sting. And now he sits with God. That must be our prayer and hope. No one will ever live as richly as my Father, and we will forever love him. Tomorrow. Tomorrow is another day. As we pass into a time without the presence of a great man, let us remember all the times of yesterday. He is here with us in spirit, and he demands we remember his lessons. Do not forget them or change them, for as soon as they are gone, he will be gone. But rather, remember him and walk as men and women who follow the same God and love his creation as we know my Father, Master Eugene Hahn, friend to all, managed to do Then he will live forever through us. God blessed us with this time. And if we do not count those blessings, then his life lesson was a time of waste and emptiness. But if we can count and continue to count, day by day, all the blessings, we will see that he never died, but only taught us a lesson of how to live, and then went to live in the place where I hope we all plan on seeing him again someday. Now I'd like to read a scripture, and I'm not sure if I have the story correctly, but either way, it should be a pretty good one. From what I recall, John Wiedemann was with my dad one day in the hospital, and my dad woke up, and he says, "I saw him." And John says, "Saw who?" And my dad says, "Him." And then he told John to pray. I'm not sure if I got the right scripture right, but I think it's still applicable, so let's hope I got the right one. If I remember correctly, it was the 23rd Psalm. Okay. Well, I like to translate in the way that my father said it. As John said one verse, he would copy the next verse, which was an extremely difficult thing for him to do, considering the time and the rate at which his speech was quickly falling apart. These are the words as my father would say them. "The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. And even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. As you prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies and anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever." That was his prayer. As long as we remember this prayer, he will never be forgotten. Thank you.